Hello, my name is Regina Farmer and I'm with Chem-Man. Today we want to show you a little bit about our chemical sales program. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that I'd like to do is go to customers and manage customers. And there's multiple ways to add customers. You can either import them from a spreadsheet file, CSV file. Most programs will download into the spreadsheet file like QuickBooks or some other program. We can help you do that, try to make it easy for you. Or you can add one manually. So let me just go ahead and put, let's see, John Farmer. All right. And then you can put their address and extra information. Let me just go ahead and put some information. Box 999. Okay, let me go ahead and click save. So that's another way. You can always search for it right here. So if I just put Farmer, I've got Joe Farmer and John Farmer. So the next thing that we'd like to do is we need to set up some chemicals. So I'm going to go to Setup menu, Manage Chemical Charges. So we have a variety of chemicals right here, but what we're going to do is use the EPA chemical database as a tool. We don't bring the entire database into our screen that we use because it would take so long, it would kind of slow your system down. So we use it as a tool to get your description, your EPA number, your manufacturer, and the status, whether it's active or not. So let me go ahead and browse EPA database. All right. And we're going to search for, I'll just put Acrobat. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Acrobat 50 WP fungicide, and I'm going to click add. And then you can search for another chemical and then continue. But what I want to do is focus on the Acrobat. So let's click edit. And when you click edit, you can see that it's added to our custom database. So right down here where it says over the counter chemical sale price, that's where we want to put our information. So I'm going to say that we're going to sell it for $50 a gallon right here. And then you can put a default vendor if you normally get it from some particular place. So it will automatically default to that. So let me go ahead and almost say we normally get it from Nutrien. And right here, you can put a cost right now, but if you add more inventory, it will override this. So I'm going to put, we paid $30 for it. And if you happen to want a reorder report, automatically, when it gets down to a certain level, then you can put that in and say, once the quantity gets down to 20, let's consider reordering it. So it didn't automatically do anything reordering, but it just gives you a good report. So when we added from the EPA database, it brought us our name. The nickname is just kind of what you search on. The description is actually what shows on the invoice. It brought our EPA number, our manufacturer, and whether it's restricted or not. So let me go ahead and save our changes. All right, so now I'm going to go back to our managed chemical charges. So when we browse, we just were able to get that tool and bring in our chemical. So as we see, we've got our Acrobat 50 WP fungicide. And if you want to shorten that name, you can do that. You can modify the names there. And if you click edit, it's just like what we saw a while ago is we have our over-the-counter chemical sale price at $50 a gallon. Now, there is one thing that you might want to pay attention to. If you have a salesman, which we won't go into right now, but it will allow you to have a percentage on the salesman. So first of all, let's show you how to add those chemicals into inventory. So I'm going to go to inventory add, and I'm going to choose the vendor and a reference number if you want. Could be BAL for balance board if you wanted to do that. So let me go ahead and put Acrobat. And if you wanted to put, you could put a particular customer. It doesn't, it's more for reporting purposes, but if you wanted to put a customer, you could. It brings in the unit cost, but if you change that, I'll put $32, maybe the price went up. And I'm going to put that we ordered 300 gallons. We purchased 300 gallons. And say we did it on the 17th. All right. And then we're going to put progeny. And I'm going to say, let's see, quilt, Excel. And I'll just say it cost $50 and ordered 350. Whenever you post it, that just moves it down here to show you that you've posted it. We've added the Acrobat and the Quilt Excel, and these are from a previous month. So if you made a mistake, you could unpost it and fix it. Now what we're going to do is go to our quantity on hand. And you'll see that we've got 300 gallons of Acrobat and 350 gallons of Quilt XL. So now we're ready to make some chemical cells. So now let's go to chemical cells and we're going to enter unposted chemical cells. Unposted basically means that you're putting in a batch of work that's been called in and you're going to review it, make sure you're going to print all the invoices for it, possibly some delivery tickets. And then when you post it, it will actually add it to your customer balances and will take away from inventory. So it's in review mode until you actually post it. When you post it, it just archives it. All right, so let me go ahead and click on add. And what it does is brings up the next number that you've entered, and you can't override that if you need to. I'll just make up a PO number and deliver to the office. And I'm going to go ahead and put our Acrobat in. It automatically brings up Nutrien because we set it as a default vendor in our chemical charge setup. I'm going to say that we have 35 gallons that we're selling. Cost is 50. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the Quilt XL. And it brought its default vendor. And I'm going to say we sold 25 gallons there. I'm going to put the customer in. I'll go ahead and put farmer. And if you needed to split that, maybe you had customer shares, you could put 50 and it'll bring you another drop down. Right here, I'm going to put Regina salesman and we're going to go ahead and save that chemical sale. Now, if you needed to print out a delivery receipt, you could do that. So right here, it's in a number 10 window envelope, and you've got both of your chemicals there. You've got your PO number, comment, and down here it has received by and delivery signature. So you can put a logo on your screen. We got a little plane there, but it gives you the order number and the account number. So that's your delivery receipt. It's an optional thing, of course. Now, I would like to show you what an invoice looks like. So you have a heading date right there, and I'm going to go ahead and put print. And I didn't set up any terms, so let me go ahead and show you how to do that if you want to set up your terms. But on the invoice, it's also a number 10 window envelope, and it will give you a comment. It will put a stub, but that is an option right there if you don't want to put in a stub. All right, so let's go to Setup menu, System Settings, and let's go to Invoice Formatting. So I'm going to default my terms to 30 days. And then also what we could do is take off the stub just to show you there's a lot of options in the invoicing. So, and you can put a logo as mentioned. There we go. And so now let's go back to our chemical cells just to show you what the invoice looks like now. Now we have terms and we also have no stub at the bottom, just has the amount. So it's just there's a lot of different options that you can do for your reporting. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and enter one more. And I'm not going to put a PO number or comment this time. I'm just going to put Acrobat and I'm going to say that we have 10 gallons right here. And I'm going to say the cost went up to 55. And then I'll put some harmony and 20. And this time I'm going to put John Farmer. Okay, and I'll still have the salesman's Regina salesman. And I did want to show you, you could print them all at once. So if you want to print them all, you could do that. It brings in your default terms. You can have a default invoice comment too. And you can print that. And come down here and you have both of them and you can just print those. You can even save them as PDFs. We're working on the ability to email the invoice as well. If you need to email it, you could save it as a PDF and then just email it that way. But we do have that in the works. So now what we want to do is go ahead. We approved it. It looks good. And let's just post them all. Now what we're going to do is let's go look at our quantity on hand. And if you'll notice that we have a harmony, apparently I put a harmony in without ever adding a harmony. So I meant to put Quilt XL. Let me just show you how easy it is to change something if you did make a mistake. Quilt XL. So we've had some from last month that are in the red. So let me see where the harmony is. All right. So edit that. I'm gonna take that out and I'm gonna put the Quilt XL. So easy to edit things, even after you post them. All right, so now what we're going to do is go to the quantity on hand report just to show you how much that your chemicals have been reduced. So if you'll see that Acrobat has been changed to 255 and Quilt Excel is 305. Just to see how you got to that point, we're going to look at the chemical history report. Chemical history report is a really nice report, and you can do a lot of extra information. You can get a lot of extra information with this report. If I want to see everything on how I got to the balances of what I did of my chemicals, I can see all the additions. I can see all the chemical sales of each chemical that I have. So you can see your margins on your chemical sales right there. So you can see that I paid $32 a gallon here, and my margin is 630 for that and 230 for that. And then down here we have another addition, and then we have a chemical sale. Looks like when I switched that out, I probably got the prices backwards. So we've got a negative margin, which is something you want to be aware of. You definitely don't want a negative margin. So these reports are really great to look at. I've had people say that they were going in the hole, so they realized that these reports help them a lot. So if you want to just do margins only, you could take off the additions and deductions, and I'm going to do totals only here. And so you can see right there, you can see your margins right there. So it's just a nice report. You can also get spreadsheets. Maybe you're getting reimbursed by some of these manufacturers that might give you some reimbursement. So you can do a spreadsheet and we can help you enter that information into a spreadsheet. All right, so we also have some really great reports, monthly summary reports. We've got inventory reports, as mentioned, the quantity on hand. Once you deduct it, once you enter the job, it takes it away. There are more options. You can also, in your inventory, you can also add warehouses and vendors. So you can, whenever you enter a job, you can put the warehouse and the vendor in as well. So you can keep up with the amount of inventory that's in each vendor or warehouse. So just be aware whenever you add to your inventory, you'll have to put the vendor and warehouse in. Whenever you enter the chemical sale, you'll have to put the vendor and warehouse. So you can set up your manage vendors here. So you can just very easily add a vendor, just add a brand new vendor here. Very easy to do. And you can go in and add warehouses. Your chemical charges, I mentioned that earlier. That's pretty much sums it up on our chemical sales demo. If you have any questions, just give us a call, 870-238-9222. Thanks for listening.